The Raiders return home as they enter the playoff push. Welcome to Week 14 of the Silver and Black Show, presented by Cox. Today, Link and I get you ready for a huge AFC matchup against the Indianapolis Colts. Coach Gruden joins JT to break down Phillip Rivers and his familiarity with the Raiders. And I sit down with veteran running back Jalen Richard to discuss the mindset of this team heading into the home stretch of the season. All that and so much more on this edition of the Silver and Black Show. Let's do this. All right, what is up, Raider Nation? I'm Erin Coscarelli alongside my all-pro tackle in Lincoln Kennedy. Here inside Allegiant Stadium, Link, I brought you to a new spot. Level 200, the San Manuel Club. How you liking the dig?
I'm impressed. You know, the fact is we're getting our worldwide stadium tour, you know, and I just made sure I had to dress appropriately because security was thick now.
Whew.
And you're representing with the red bottom, so I had to make sure I dressed appropriately.
There are so many cool elements of this stadium. We're on level 200 in the San Manuel Club, and yeah,
nice.
Security outside was legit, okay?
Exactly.
But I haven't seen you since that last-second game-winning drive, courtesy of Derek Carr and the rookie. What was your takeaway from that game against the Jets?
Well, broadcasting with Brent Musburger, my heart dropped several times during that drive,
yeah.
and so it was hard to get any words out. But it was so happy to see the Raiders were able to pull away a win. It was a hard-fought battle, but this young team showed some great resiliency. I was very proud of them.
I'm really glad you used the word resiliency because let's start there. I mean, Henry Ruggs had a couple of giveaways.
Right.
Derek Carr had a couple of missed throws. Talk to the resilience of the team that when their backs were against the wall, they made it through and had that last, second Hail Mary.
Well, when you play a team game, it's all about trust.
Okay.
You got to trust that your teammate's going to make the play. You're a quarterback. You got to trust your receivers are going to get open. Your offensive line is going to protect. And the great thing that the Raiders were able to come, especially in that last play, is that Derek felt in his heart that when he saw that double move and he saw one-on-one coverage with Henry Ruggs III, that he was going to be able to get the ball to him and Ruggs was going to be able to pull it in. Derek called it in his press conference. Gruden prepared him because knowing how Greg Williams' tendencies were to all-out blitz, this might be a situation. And when he had zero coverage, he knew exactly where to go with the football.
Okay, well, let's talk about the other side of the ball. What did you see from the defense? Because in Clelin Ferrell's return had missed a couple games heading into the Jets game. He certainly made an impact, right? The 2 sacks, the 2 forced fumbles, one of them leading to taking points away from the Jets, another that led to 3 points on the offense. What did you see from the defense?
Well, you know what? The defense did enough and got off the field when they absolutely had to. You remember when the Raiders had the turnover from Henry Ruggs III, the defense was able to go out there and get them the football back. That was absolutely imperative. And they're also getting better. They're starting to play better. I think that when the Raiders, brought up Vic Beasley and they put him on the long side along Clelin Ferrell, that was a tremendous lift for the pass rush. They're trying to generate a pass rush with their front four, so they've got some holes they need to work on, but that Trayvon Mullen interception right there, that was huge because he came down one hand and he was surprised, just as surprised as everyone else that he had the ball, so it was a big time.
Turnovers were absolutely imperative to getting back on track and being able to capitalize as you're taking a look at some of our defensive numbers week 13 against the Jets. And hopefully the Raiders can get healthy down the stretch. Trent Brown activated off the COVID list. Josh Jacobs should be looking healthy enough to return. They're averaging 67 rushing yards per game the last 3 games. They're certainly missing a lot of the key playmakers on offense. This is the identity of the Raiders offense.
And one of the big things, I think, ever since the Alec Ingold injury, the ribs, I know that he went out there and he tried to play, but it just wasn't the same as effective as he was before it. I think that had a lot to do with the run game because a lot of the runs, the perennial runs that the Raiders like, Erin, are 2-back runs. And so without Ingold in the lineup or having him available in the lineup, they were very limited as what they could do. But I think getting Trent Brown, if he's able to play this week, off of the COVID list is going to help that run game because he's a road grader on that side as well.
Yeah, and look, he was a full participant in practice on Wednesday.
Right.
Coach said maybe he might be available. Josh Jacobs, of course, with that ankle injury, looks to be able to return. And we'll talk about the Colts a little later in the show. Stick around. But coming up next, running back Jalen Richard is going to join us to talk that Raiders run game. Stick around.
This has been brought to you by Allegiant, the official airline of the Las Vegas Raiders. Low fares, nonstop flights, Book now, only at Allegiant.com. Cox, proud partner of the Las Vegas Raiders. Coors Light, an official beer of Raider Nation made to chill. Presented by San Manuel Casino, official Southern California casino of Allegiant Stadium.
All right, welcome back to the show. Raiders run game ranked top 10 in the league, thanks in part to the playmaking ability of running back Jalen Richard. Jalen, thank you very much for joining us today.
Oh, appreciate you for having me.
Well, it's good to have you because you've been a part of a couple down-to-the-wire games here. Talk about what was going through your mind at the end of the game Sunday against the Jets.
Yeah, I was just happy to get the ball back. You know, it didn't look good for us that last drive when we had the 3 and out, and then they got the ball back, but the defense held them. We were able to get the ball back with a few more seconds, so I knew it was a possibility. So, you know, just wanted to do everything I could and handle my job to the best ability so that we have a shot. And then at the end, I'm picking up a blitz, and I just see DC just launch it in the air. And I'm like looking in the air like, okay, I think it looks like it might be overthrown again. And then Ruggs just hits another gear and goes and grabs it. And I'm just like screaming with my hands up in the air, like running down the field. No, it was exciting.
Well, look, you're one of 4 players who were on the team, who was on the team in 2016. And you've seen many different iterations of this team. What would you say makes this one different from those in the past, Jalen?
I would say we way more physical. We're more talented than the last teams I've played on. You know, that 12 and 14, we were really good, and we were close then. But we don't have the same amount of talent that we have now. And, again, we weren't as physical. And I remember, like, my rookie year, sometimes the ball was just kind of rolling our way, and we were able to finish. But, you know, this year with this team, I see us learning on how to finish, obviously, just being way more physical than everybody else around us. This is a fun team to be on, and I'm enjoying it. Again, I haven't felt, you know, the kind of playoff feeling with the possibility of going to the playoffs since my rookie year. So to have that feeling now, man, it's just exciting to get back in there again.
Now, talking about you had your second daughter this past March. Congratulations, Jalen. That's very cool.
Yes,
how has
thank
it
you.
been with the expansion of the family?
It's been fun. Her name's Carter. So she's a lot different from my 2-year-old. I got a 2-year-old too, and my 2-year-old is way more like nice and run up and speak to people and stuff. And she's 8 months now, Carter, and she's like straight face, like just stares at you. Like, she'll laugh with me and white people. Like, when people come over, she just kind of looking like, who is this person? Like, I don't know them. Like, straight face. And, yeah, but it's fun, though, man. Her sister loves that she has a little sister now, so her big sister plays with her all the time. She wakes up my 2-year-old wakes up in the morning, and she doesn't ask where mommy or daddy's at. She's like, where's Carter? So
that's cool.
She likes to go and, hang out with her sister. So I'm excited to, you know, still have my family. And I say, like, probably in like 2-3 years, I'm going to try for a boy.
There you go. Well, there you go.
I got to
like
get that
it.
boy in.
Hey,
I got to get the boy in.
Right. Well, and you know what? We always like to, here on the show, get to know the players a little bit more. And since you have 2 daughters at home, we thought we'd come up with some questions for a girl dad, which is you, Mr. Jalen Richard. So I'm going to ask you a couple questions, and you kind of have fun. Okay, do we have a favorite game we like to play with them?
She likes the peekaboo I see you, so we'll like hide around the house. And she'll run around and hide behind like the counter or something or underneath something, and I'll just go like, peekaboo, I see you. And she'll be like, she'll scream and just say, I see you. And then she'll like, so hide and seek. We'll play hide and seek around the house.
Do these girls have a favorite meal or a favorite meal you like to cook with them or for them, or just eat with them?
Yeah, so Carter's still on baby food, so her favorite food is definitely milk. Or bottle.
Okay, solid, nice.
And Jet loves. I mean, she'll name every food when she wants to eat, but she loves macaroni.
Jalen, hey, thank you so much for hanging out with us today and giving us a little insight on the fam. We appreciate it, and good luck this weekend against the Colts.
Already. Thank you. You have a good one.
All right, thanks, Jalen. All right, coming up next on the show, we're going to talk to our two-time Super Bowl winning quarterback, Jim Plunkett, about how the Raiders are going to be able to get past the 8-4 Colts this weekend. You're going to want to stick around. Don't go anywhere.
This segment has been brought to you by Microsoft, an official cloud partner of the Las Vegas Raiders.
And welcome back to Silver and Black, and welcome in our two-time Super Bowl winning QB, Jim Plunkett. Jim, thank you so much for joining us today.
Always a pleasure to be here, especially after last week's victory.
Well, that's where we're going to start today, because Jim, the last few seconds of that game, you got to tell me, what were your emotions?
Obviously I was hoping they're going to pull it out in some fashion and not much time to do it in. But they, hit a good pass play early to Waller and moved the ball in position to be able to throw the ball in the end zone for a TD. And that's exactly what happened. I think Derek has shown his coolness and calmness in situations like this time and again over the years. Second most game-winning TDs at the end of the game in the league. So, he's absolutely capable of doing it. And I thought his composure was tremendous. I'm sure when he got in that huddle, he convinced his guys, you give me the time, you find a way to get open and I'll get you the ball. And that's exactly what happened.
You nailed it there. Cool, calm, collected from Mr. Carr. And like you mentioned, the second most game-winning drive since joining the league in 2014. Can you talk about those moments at the end of a game? In the huddle, everyone's looking at you, pressure's on, especially, earlier in the game, he missed some throws that you have to make. Can you talk about the composure that Derek Carr, game in, game out, seems to show when he needs to?
I don't think there's any question about that. He's matured over the years. He knows what to do and when to do it and how to do it. But you get in the huddle, you're under a tough situation like they were at the end of the game. You look everybody in the eye, and you tell your lineman, you give me the time, and I'll get the job done. And that's the way you have to feel when you step into the huddle under a crucial situation like they were in, and come up with the plays to get it done. And that's exactly what that offense. You have to give everybody credit, and Derek Carr did on that final drive.
Yep, only took 5 seconds and a Hail Mary to get it done against the Jets. What does it take, though, in your opinion, Jim, as someone who's done it before, to engineer a late game winning drive? Is it fearlessness? Is it confidence? What would you say that is?
I think it's a little bit of everything, confidence, fearlessness, but a calmness as well. Don't panic, step back, know what you have to do, read the defense correctly, go to the guy you're supposed to go to. But I think it's being calm in a very, very difficult situation that really makes a quarterback perform at his best. You can sense the people around you rushing and going maybe past you and being blocked by the tackle. But your concentration is totally focused on your job and who you have to get the ball to and how to throw the ball, put it in the air, put it on the line. But I think it's calmness more than anything else that makes a quarterback successful in situations like Derek Carr had.
As always, we appreciate when you join us, Jim. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Erin.
All right, from our Super Bowl winning quarterback to our head coach, JT the Brick catches up with Coach Gruden on what he saw the Colts do really well against the Titans last week and what the Raiders are up against when Indy heads to Allegiant.
We welcome in head coach John Gruden. And coach, all week you talked about earning it. 7 games on the road. Now you get a chance for 3 in a row at home the final quarter. Tell us how you're feeling.
Well, we have to take care of business. We sacrificed a lot to get to this point. As you said, 7 games on the road out of the first 12. It's been a tough way to go about it. We've had some injuries, but here we are playing in Vegas. Wish it was packed with fans, but our guys have had a good week of practice, and we're ready to roll against a very good Colt team. Let's talk about their defense. Buckner up front, and these linebackers really are good in space. They travel to the ball. They tackle well. Yeah, Leonard, number 53, is a great linebacker. He never comes off the field. Wherever the ball is, you'll find number 53. And it all starts up front, as you said. DeForest Buckner is a difference maker. The ex-Raider, Danico Autry's playing great. And the secondary, much improved with the addition of Xavier Rhodes, a former Viking. He stabilizes them. They've got a nice blend, I think, of youth and veteran experience, and Matt Eberflus, the defensive coordinator, does a great job.
We see a familiar foe in Phillip Rivers again, still dangerous as ever, paired up with head coach Frank Reich. Coach, how does he look on film?
He looks like Rivers. You know, he's throwing it quick. He's got great anticipation and touch. He is battling through a toe injury. They've had some injuries at left tackle. But the rookie Taylor, the running back, helps them. They've got some balance. This kid Hines, number 21, can do a lot of things. And they still have T.Y. Hilton, a great receiver, who's really hot right now. So we're going to get a really good 8-4 Colt team at their best, I believe.
Coach, I've never missed a Rivers game. San Diego, Carson, now he comes into Vegas. And what I like about him is he doesn't like the Raiders. It's old school football. He respects the opponent, but he doesn't like this team. That should fire up your team to see him maybe one last time and see him in your building.
Well, you better be fired up because he's going to unload on you. He's going to talk a lot of trash. You're right. He has a personal disdain for the Raiders. He's won 18 times in this series, and we swept them last year. I'm sure he's bitter about that, plans on resolving that. But we're going to have to be at our best because they can do a lot of things running and passing and with the play action.
Coach, you always talk about availability. Getting healthy for the stretch run is so important. How optimistic are you with the players that you have returning?
I used to be real optimistic, JT. Now I'm becoming more realistic. And until I see these guys start practicing on Wednesday and Thursday, I'm going to be very skeptical of them playing and playing well on Sunday. Right now, we're excited to have Trent Brown back. It looks like he's going to go. Josh Jacobs will find out later today. The same with John Abram. We all know Arnett probably out of this game, as is Jeff Heath. So we got a number of passengers that won't make this flight.
Coach, the Raider Nation is fired up here in Vegas, all over the world. Good luck against the Colts. Thank you.
Thanks, JT.
This segment has been brought to you by Coca-Cola, the official soft drink of the Las Vegas Raiders.
A staple of the Oakland Raiders, I know the Las Vegas Raiders now, is they're big and they're fast. You know, I mean, that's just what you knew they were going to be, is they were going to pass the eye test when they got off the bus. You know, they were pretty. When they came out of the locker room, it was, my goodness, look at those guys. So they still have kept that kind of tradition going. And defensively, they fly around. You know, the guys in the secondary are flying around. The defensive line is very active, very penetrating. You know, usually you play different schemes. You know, some schemes are more the kind of the old school 3-4, the old school 2-gap guys. You know, they try to just hold up blocks and let linebackers make plays. These guys are very penetrating, trying to cause problems in the backfield and just, you know, wreak havoc.
The Raiders are going to face a guy they know pretty well in Mr. Phillip Rivers. Welcome back to the show. Erin Coscarelli, Lincoln Kennedy here inside Allegiant Stadium at the San Manuel Club, a new part of the Allegiant Stadium. We're going to show you probably every week a new cool element of this stadium. There is a lot around here. But let's talk about the Colts and specifically Phillip Rivers, a guy obviously very familiar with the Raiders. Do you believe that plays a part in, you know, attacking this team with the Raiders coming into play, and vice versa, the Raiders' familiarity with Phillip Rivers?
Without a doubt, because you know your identity, your offense is usually determined by your quarterback, and the Raiders know Phillip Rivers. They had a long history with him in the Chargers uniform. They know what he likes to do. They know what he's capable of. So that understanding goes both ways, as well as Phillip's understanding of the Raiders and how they play defense, because he played against Gunther's defense when he was a Charger the last couple of years as well. Yeah,
and Rivers has lost the last 2 games he played against the Raiders. Of course, that was in a different uniform. That was in the Chargers uniform. But a couple of rookies. You have Michael Pittman, the wideout, the running back in Jonathan Taylor. How do you believe and how do you see them contributing to the offense this year for the Colts?
Phillip Rivers notoriously in the offenses he's ran has had a lot of crossing routes. So they try to do things to get rub routes, especially when defenses play man coverage. So that's what you can really expect. But they also want to run the ball successfully. And pretty much, you know, his offensive line keeps him clean. So he's been able to survey and throw down the field and have some success.
3rd fewest sacks.
Yeah.
For Phillip Rivers. And Jonathan Taylor, pretty reliable out of the backfield, 29 catches on 30 targets so far for the rookie. On the other side of the ball, though, I would say Derek Carr might have his hands full against that Colts pass rush. Can you talk overall about what this defense does well as a unit?
This defense flies around. This is a pretty good defense. The Raiders are going to have their hands full with this defense. It's, they've got a number of playmakers on each level, and they've been playing better and better as the season has gone on. Danico Autry used to be a Raider, and he's having a season. But biggest one is Justin Houston, and that linebacker right there, Darius Leonard. Justin Houston has 7.5 sacks. Whew. Leonard is the type of linebacker that flies around, makes plays sideline to sideline. He is a difference maker. So the Raiders are definitely going to have their hands full with this defense.
Well, speaking of difference maker, how has the addition of DeForest Buckner in the offseason impacted this defense? Because that's another playmaker you got to watch out for.
Sort of the formula that Forrest he had to play with when he was in San Francisco. They had 4 guys that could rush the passer really well. It's a similar situation here in Indianapolis. You don't have to blitz because you've got guys that can fly around. So DeForest Buckner has been a tremendous addition to that defense. And just look at those numbers right there. I mean, that yard per rush, the Raiders are already struggling to run the ball, and this team knows how to stop the run. So something has to give.
Yeah, and according to Colts research, the Indianapolis defense gives up almost 2 yards less per carry when Buckner's on the field.
Right.
And in the one game, of course, Buckner missed. You saw what happened to Derrick Henry. He went absolutely AWOL. 3 touchdowns, 178 yards on 27 carries. Might not be able to get a 200-yard day out of Darren Waller this week, but the Raiders are currently 7-5 and 1 game off the AFC playoff race. For Lincoln, I'm Erin Coscarelli. Thank you guys for watching. We will see you next week.
This has been brought to you by Allegiant, the official airline of the Las Vegas Raiders. Low fares, nonstop flights. Book now, only at Allegiant.com. Coca-Cola, the official soft drink of the Las Vegas Raiders. Cox, proud partner of the Las Vegas Raiders. Twitch, the official live streaming partner of the Las Vegas Raiders.